Good day, Ma'am Gal. This is Estorco Mayfel from BS Ed Mathematics 2.
So today my topic is all about principles, policies, and dimensions. So here is our objectives. At the end of the discussion, the student should be able to knowledge, understand the key education principles, learn the essential principles and policies that guide education in the Philippines. Skills, explore the Philippine inclusive education model, discover how the Philippines education system support diverse learners including those disabilities and indigenous people. Attitude, assess strategies for successful education programs, evaluate effective strategies to develop and sustain educational programs for all learners. So there are five principles, policies, and dimensions. So first, early intervention. Second, process of inclusion, Philippine model. Third is transition program. Fourth, sustaining programs. Fifth, national indigenous people education policy. So first, we're going to tackle about the early intervention. So what is early intervention? So early intervention is the process of providing services, education, and support to young children who have developmental delays or disabilities. So early intervention is a system of coordinated services that promotes the child age appropriate growth and development and support families during the critical early years. Early intervention focuses on helping eligible babies and toddlers learn the basic and brand new skills typically developed during the first 3 years of life, such as cognitive, like thinking and solving problems, communication, like talking, listening, and understanding. Next is physical, like reaching, rolling, crawling, and walking. So next is self-help, like eating and dressing and social emotional like playing, feeling secure and happy. So next is process of inclusion, Philippine model. So what are the Philippine models of inclusion? The child with special needs like self-instruction, self-monitoring, self-reinforcement, and self-determination. So, what is the process of inclusion? Inclusion is concerned with the identification and removal of barriers. So, mainstreaming towards inclusion. It is the placement of a student in the regular classroom for educational purposes. So, there are two types of mainstreaming towards inclusion. First is partial mainstreaming towards inclusion. Second is full mainstreaming towards inclusion. Next is transition program. So what is transition program? Transition program is a set of activities or tasks offered to children with special needs at specific ages. So they will keep track for their progress to be prepared to send in a specific setting. What do you mean by transition in inclusive education? For the special needs child, however, transition has very specific meaning. It is part of the overall individualized education program or IEP, and it defines the move from public school to adult life. What is the main purpose of transition program? The transition program aims to help special learners become functional in spite of their abilities. It aims to make them enjoy their daily lives and empower them to become more useful and productive citizens. So next is sustaining programs. So what is sustaining programs? So the foundation of inclusive and special education, the sustaining programs focuses on providing ongoing support and resources to ensure the success and progress of students with disabilities in inclusive classroom. So the foundation is built upon several key elements. First is professional development, individual education plans or IEP, collaboration and co-teaching, support services, parent and community involvement, monitoring and evaluation. So next is National IP Education Policies. So what is IP education? So the right of indigenous people or IP to basic education that is responsive to their context, respect their identities and promotes the value of their indigenous knowledge, skills and other aspects of their cultural heritage. So what is National IP Education Policy? Adopting the National Indigenous People Education Policy Framework, this policy framework is intended to be an instrument for promoting shared accountability, continuous dialogue, engagement, and partnership among government, IP community, civil society, and
Society and
other
other
education
education
stakeholders.
stakeholders.
Specifically, the objectives of IPED program are the following. Make the curriculum culturally responsive to the specific community context of IP learners, builds the capacity of teachers, school heads, and other concerned personnel at different levels of governance in implementing culture-based education for IPs, support the development of culturally appropriate learning resources and learning environment responsive to the specific community context of IP learners, strengthen the policy environment supportive of IPED, and address the learning needs of IP learners who lack access to basic education services. The IPED program supports the realization of the K-12 basic education curriculum, which subscribes the following standards and principles, among others: inclusive, culture-sensitive, and flexible enough to enable and allow schools to localize, indigenize, and enhance based on the community's educational and social context. To strengthen the capacity of DepEd in responding to IP learners' needs in a manner that is flexible, demand-driven, and evidence-based, a program support funds or PSF shall be provided to regional and schools division offices in FT 2016. That would be all. Thank you for listening.